Welcome to History Class with Dr. W, National Holiday Edition. Americans look forward to Memorial Day almost as much as any other holiday. It marks the beginning of summer, and for students, it always falls right around the end of the school year. It's a long weekend of barbecues, trips to the pool or the lake, or kicking off that summer travel. But to military families who have lost someone in the service, Memorial Day takes on a deeper meaning. Let's take this lesson to explore the history of this cherished holiday. Memorial Day is officially a day of remembrance for our fallen servicemen and women, those who have died in the military. It is observed each year on the last Monday in May. For many Americans, it is a day to remember their loved ones or ancestors who died in the service, and in addition to the parties and the cookouts, many Americans visit grave sites or memorials or attend parades or services. Most recently, a moment of remembrance was added, which takes place at 3 p.m. local time. Memorial Day was made an official federal holiday in 1971, after a vote to create the official holiday passed in 1968. But its origins go back much farther. Recognition of those who died in battle dates back to the earliest records of human existence. The ancient Greeks and Romans honored their war dead each year, decorating their graves and holding festivals and feasts in their honor. And during each war and after every battle, they held ceremonies honoring the dead before sending them to their final burial. One of the earliest known tributes to war dead was in 431 BC, when the Athenian general Pericles delivered a powerful eulogy to those who had been killed in the Peloponnesian War. Pericles said, "Not only are they commemorated by columns and inscriptions, but there dwells also an unwritten memorial of them, graven not on stone, but in the hearts of men." The roots of the American holiday, known as Memorial Day, date back to the Civil War. It was after the Civil War that America first established national cemeteries, on account of the hundreds of thousands of war dead on both sides. Soon after, Americans began flocking to those cemeteries to honor the fallen, decorating the grave sites with flags and flowers. These vigils were especially common in the spring. Gradually, these informal celebrations became more organized, as towns and communities around the country came together to honor their fallen in one designated celebration. The holiday, first known as Decoration Day, came in its origins in these ceremonies decorating the grave sites of the fallen. As many as 20 different towns claim to be the origin site for Memorial Day. Citizens of Boalsburg, Pennsylvania, claim to have been the first for a group of women who gathered in 1864 to mourn the dead from the Battle of Gettysburg. Similarly, folks in Columbus, Mississippi, claim to be the first for a group of women who gathered in 1866 at the grave sites of Confederate soldiers killed in the Battle of Shiloh. And folks in Carbondale, Illinois, base their claim on an 1866 parade led by General John Logan, who 2 years later led the charge for an official holiday. More on him in a moment. Macon, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia, Richmond, Virginia, and a dozen other cities have their own origin stories. In 1966, the federal government declared the official birthplace of Memorial Day to be Waterloo, New York, on the 100th anniversary of the first Decoration Day celebrations, which were held in Waterloo in 1866. Thus, the American government has recognized Waterloo as the first community in the country to hold an annual, community-wide event, closing businesses and hosting gatherings to decorate the grave sites. Some scholars dispute this origin story, however, noting that the first official such gathering was organized by a group of formerly enslaved people in Charleston, South Carolina, less than a month after the end of the war in 1865. Scholar David Blight, a history professor at Yale University, in his 2001 book Race and Reunion, rediscovered this long-lost tale of what may be the first Memorial Day celebration. On May 1st, 1865, more than 1,000 recently freed slaves, including members of the celebrated Massachusetts 54th Infantry, gathered at the recently liberated notorious prison camp at the Washington Racecourse and Jockey Club near Charleston's Citadel. Prisoners in the camp had been held in abominable conditions, and more than 250 prisoners had died in the camp. As a tribute, the newly freed slaves consecrated a new burial site for the dead soldiers, decorating their graves, performing marches, singing songs, and giving speeches. It is this ceremony that Blight and some other scholars mark as the origin of Memorial Day. In these pictures, on the left, you see a picture of the clubhouse at the Charleston racetrack where the 1865 Memorial Day event took place. And on the right, while it's harder to make out, a sketch of the Union Soldier Cemetery reading The Martyrs of the Racecourse in Charleston, South Carolina. Decoration Day was officially established on May 5, 1868, when General John A. Logan, who led an organization of Northern Civil War veterans, designated May 30th of that year, quote, for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. Logan continued, we should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and fond mourners. Let no neglect, no ravages of time, testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten as a people the cost of a free and undivided republic. Logan was said to have chosen May 30th because it was a rare date on the calendar when there hadn't been a major Civil War battle to commemorate. But it's also a time when the weather tends to be ideal for outdoor gatherings in most of the country, and when flowers are in full bloom. On the first Decoration Day, some 5,000 people gathered at Arlington National Cemetery to decorate the 20,000 Civil War graves there. Logan, incidentally, went on to a long and successful political career, ultimately serving in both the House and the Senate, and running at one point for vice president. Logan's Circle in Washington, D.C. is named in his honor. From there, Decoration Day became a holiday in many states. By 1890, all northern states were celebrating Decoration Day on May 30th each year, while southern states celebrated on different days until after World War I. World War I marked an important turning point in this holiday's history. Up to that point, the remembrances on Decoration Day honored only those killed during the Civil War. With World War I, America entered another massive conflict, generating hundreds of thousands more killed, and Decoration Day from that point honored Americans killed in any war. While Memorial Day now recognizes fallen soldiers from all American wars, a number of southern states continue to observe separate dates honoring the Confederate dead. January 19th in Texas, April 26th in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi, May 10th in South Carolina, and June 3rd, which is Jefferson Davis's birthday, in Louisiana and Tennessee. One Memorial Day tradition observed by some is the wearing of a red poppy flower. This tradition was born during World War I, after a Canadian lieutenant colonel named John McCrae noticed a cluster of red poppy flowers growing on what had recently been a blood and gas-filled battlefield after the Second Battle of Ypres. In recognition of that battle, in which nearly 100,000 Allied soldiers were killed, McCrae wrote the poem In Flanders Fields. The poem was picked up immediately by the press, and it was published around the world within months. People all over the world were inspired, and many began using the red poppy as a symbol to honor the war dead. In the United States, a professor named Moina Michael spearheaded the movement to embrace the poppy symbol, making silk poppies and selling them to raise money for the veterans. Her efforts took root, and to this day, many people mark Memorial Day by wearing or posting red poppies. In 1948, the U.S. Post Office honored Miss Michael for her role in founding the national poppy movement by issuing a red 3-cent postage stamp with her likeness on it. And here's the poem In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. In 1968, in order to ensure a 3-day weekend for federal employees, Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which formally established the holiday of Memorial Day and set the date as the last Monday in May each year. The act went into effect in 1971, and ever since, the last Monday in May has stood as Memorial Day. Not all veterans are happy with the change in date, and they lobby for a return to the May 30th date. They're concerned that Americans now pay too much attention to the arrival of summer, the parties, cookouts, and outings, rather than actually honoring the war dead. Hawaii Senator and decorated World War II veteran Daniel Inouye was so incensed by the change that at the start of every congressional term for more than 20 years until his death in 2012, introduced legislation to restore the May 30th observance. The final tweak to the traditions of Memorial Day was the addition of the National Moment of Remembrance, which was added when a resolution passed on December 2000, which asks that at 3 p.m. local time, for all Americans, quote, to voluntarily and informally observe in their own way a moment of remembrance and respect, pausing from whatever they're doing for a moment of silence or listening to taps. As Moment of Remembrance founder Carmela Laspada states, it's a way we can all help put the memorial back in Memorial Day. On that note, let me wish everyone a happy Memorial Day. Finish up that spring cleaning, dust off the grill, and visit the pool. But also, take some time out of the day to remember those who have died to protect the rights and privileges we enjoy today.